Alright, before this video starts, there's a lot of stuff to cover, okay? I know, first basketball video, and this is, you, bro, what is this title? You're going through game sevens, you're going through, what are you talking about? Like, I'm gonna go through all of this stuff because I just need to vent. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, my first basketball thing, I wasn't really sure what it was gonna be. I was like, should I react to the final series or something? And then, I'm gonna be honest. When I knew the Nets were gonna play the Bucks, I was okay. If you've been keeping track of my Twitter, you know that I've been pretty animated. I've made it very clear where my allegiances lied, which was with the Bucks. Obviously, Giannis is my guy. So I was like, okay. People were saying like, oh, they're gonna get swept and whatever, and I was like, they're not gonna get swept. And I was like, actually, I think this is gonna be a really, really good game. And I know not everyone was saying they were gonna get swept. I know a lot of people thought like this would be a good series, and this will probably be the most competition that the Nets are gonna have, right? I thought in my head, I was like, this could go to game seven. Could, emphasis on could. I didn't think it actually would 100%. I think I was like 20%. I was like 20% sure they were going to go into like a game, like a 7 game series. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of thinking game six. Uh, I was crossing my fingers, like really hoping. I was like, man, if the Bucks win this, this would be some shit. So it went to game seven. And I was like hesitating in my head. I was like, should I record my reaction to the game? But the thing is, I can't give you like a full reaction unless it's just like my screen is like you don't see the game at all. So I like if you see my soccer stuff, you'll see like I do like some highlight clip tidbits. I mean, there's only one game there, but I'm gonna react to the Euros that's happening. I'm gonna react to France and Portugal. I'm gonna react to that. So, but I do it in highlight system because I think that's gonna be better. So I'm not gonna get stricken with anything because, yeah, I'm just trying to avoid copyright in general. Plus, this whole channel is not just meant to be reactions. So I was like, if I get like copyright stricken just because of these reactions, it's just not gonna be worth it. So yeah, this video itself is gonna be me covering all the stuff of like the look at it as like the conference semifinals games, right? My opinions on them. So like the Suns going to four, like sweeping, the Clippers making it out and beating the number one seed, which I'm gonna be honest, when you say it like that, it kind of seems like a whoa, huge, huge like achievement, but it's really not unless you put into perspective them not getting Kawhi. Then it's like, what? Like with Kawhi, you could think like, I mean, Utah's kind of had like a year or two where they've been in this situation, and I kind of look at it as like it's not it's not surprising to say that Utah wasn't going to make it to the finals. So I kind of just left it as it's probably it's like a 50-50. I kind of left it as a 50-50 in my head. So I was like not too surprised when I saw the Clippers make it through. Um and then with the Suns, I'm okay. Again, if you kept track with Twitter, you would see this, but I have in my head, finals like for this playoffs, the finals are going to be the Suns versus the Bucks. I had that before the Bucks even made it to Game 7 or Game 6, so I kind of just put that in my head of like, okay, that's probably going to be the final. So the Suns sweeping them, I was like, yeah, yeah, that's not surprising. I mean, I don't really think there needs to be much to be said about that other than CP3 is disgusting. CP3 is if you've seen the 2 point shots, if you've seen the playmaking, if you've seen those, yeah, no, it's lethal. And yeah, no, Devin Booker's it's a terrible combination for anyone that's facing that because you basically have a situation where Devin Booker can like he can sink it in from anywhere. I mean, I don't know if he can do it from logo. I think he can. I just haven't seen a clip where he's done it. I'm pretty sure he has, and I don't know how difficult it is for him, but not too difficult. I saw some people comparing him to Kobe in terms of his skill, just based on the fact he can kill you from anywhere, right? And I was like, I see what you're saying, and like they said, like, well, he was coached by Kobe and everything. I was like, yeah, yeah, but I kind of look at it as like Kobe though, because the thing about Kobe is like he would have teams where like I'm gonna make it very short, but he would have teams like the players are not bringing it up to scale, right? And he would just do like you would always have those games where he would pull in and just like crush the entire thing. Booker doesn't really do that with the Suns. He kind of just he just doesn't do that. So I'm not gonna agree on the Kobe Booker comparison. Um, that's just I think that's just us getting too excited. I think that's us getting too excited. I You have to look at it from multiple year perspective, and your different your opinion might be different. You're entitled to it, so you can say whatever you want. So yeah, that's my opinion on the Suns. I think with that combination, they're just gonna get they're just gonna get by so nicely in the West. I think they're gonna get by so nice. Now the Clippers are kind of lethal because they're getting in this new confidence, especially Paul George. He's getting in this confidence, like, bro, like Kawhi, no Kawhi, like I can get us a win, and like that gives everyone else, like, bro, that gives confidence in spades. Like they all just know, like, okay, yeah, we are some shit, and I mean, this is the first time the Clippers have made it this far, so uh, congratulations to your franchise. Um, I don't think you guys are winning it though. Although I would love to see, as a Raptors fan, I would love to see Kawhi and Giannis play in the finals. That would be really fun. Um, it'd be weird nostalgia, but also it would kind of suck because I'm like, well, I guess I don't want that to happen because then I'll be like, well, this time we're the only ones that are excluded. So I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. Um, so yeah, that's the Suns, that's the Bucks. Okay, well, I didn't talk about the Bucks. That game seven was probably the best. That was the best game of. That was the best. Yeah, that was the best game of basketball I've seen in like years. That's the best basketball game I've seen in years. And keep in mind, there may have been like better games in the off season, not the off season, sorry, in the regular season. That's what I meant to say. In the regular season, not in the playoffs, but in the regular season, um, there may have been better games. Don't get me wrong, there may have been better games, but regardless, in the past few years, playoffs is a completely different story. A good game in the playoffs is a way better game than a good game in the regular season. Way, way better because the pressure is so high, especially in a game seven. Not just a game seven, but one that went into overtime. You got to give every single player that was on the court that day like so much credit. You got to give them so much credit. If you're disrespecting any one of the Nets players, if you're disrespecting any one of the Bucks players, when I was watching that game, I wasn't thinking to myself like I never thought to myself, oh, maybe they don't want to win. Like, not that they don't want to win this, but I never questioned like how much they want to win it. Like, I knew like throughout the entire game, there was moments where I was like, man, the Bucks need to like I feel like you guys are trying to shoot too far in. I was like, this the 3 pointers from Giannis early on made me nervous, and I was like, you guys just need to look for points. I'm like, just look for points, guys. Look for points, please. But I never once questioned any one of them on like whether or not they wanted to win this. Like, no, all of them worked their asses off. Especially PJ Tucker at the end came in clutch for the Bucks. He came in so clutch. It's funny too because like after the fight with Durant, they both kind of just pulled up. I mean, like Durant pulls up every single game during that series, but like they both like at that final, they're like, okay, cool. Like I just imagine that fight. Like they just pulled and like it just turned into like that thing of like, okay, cool. We'll see at the end. We'll see at the end. Game seven. Game seven. Like it's just and then they both like just they had a point to prove to each other. But obviously KD's better. But I mean either way, you shouldn't take away like anything from PJ. Like the dude did work. Like he did massive work and um when I was watching that game, I was so nervous because I was like, the Nets, I know they're 3-point machines. Like, I was like, you have Durant, you have Harden. Harden was a little shaky. Harden was a little shaky. But again, side note, the Nets, the game's the game, guys. I know with injuries, with all that stuff, if you're a Nets fan, I get it. I get it. But you know what? You got next season, all right? It's not like you don't, like, you're going to lose any of these players. Like, you still have them, all right? You guys are still disgustingly stacked. Like you're stacked. You're still stacked. You don't have anything to worry about. Just the game's the game. It's it was fair. Like we're done. So, but I will say lethal like attack. Like I was so worried every time they got to the 3-point line. I was like, damn, bro. KD pulled in 48 points. He pulled in like 49 the game before that. I was like, if and I was kind of the funny thing is I was because I had like the scores, like the points they had, like it was live, right? So I could see like their points they're accumulating, and I was like, the more I saw Katie's go up and up and up, I was actually in my head, I was getting like more confident for the Bucks because I was like, I feel like that exhausts him more and more. So like when I saw like he was in the 40s, especially during that final quarter, when I saw him in the 40s, I was like, you know what? I think he's gonna start getting a little exhausted. Now I know, don't get me wrong, I know it's KD. KD's an amazing player. Amazing. If you didn't think so and you watched this game and you still don't think so, you don't love basketball. If you looked at this game and you didn't respect any of the players that were playing that game, you don't like basketball. But regardless, KD, I was like, okay, 49 points. That's got to exhaust anybody, especially consistency and law of averages. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna be like, I'm looking at the score. Yeah, it sucks to see 48 or like 40s like for points of just taken, right? Like that sucks. The Bucks have taken that many points from one player. But it's KD, and also I looked at it as like maybe he'll miss when it really counts. And he did. He didn't just miss once, he missed twice. Because I think if I remember the fourth quarter correctly, he missed at a crucial point during that one. I don't remember exactly where it was, but and then obviously at the very end in overtime. When they went into overtime, I got so nervous in the like first few minutes, like the first 2.5 minutes, because I'm not gonna lie with you guys, bro. The Bucks, like I was like, you guys are. There's a lot of turnovers. There was a lot of turnovers. The amount of times I said defensive rebound, defensive rebound, defensive rebound, bro. I said defensive rebound like 24 times during that entire game. I was like, please clutch, please get the ball back. Like, so especially during that overtime, I'd said it the entirety of the game, and then the overtime happened, and like that first 2.5 minutes, I was like I had my hands in my head. I had my head in my hands, bro. There's so much to cover. My brain is confused, but I have my head in my hands. I was like, no, this can't be it. Like you guys went to overtime. You guys clutched it into overtime, and you just bottle it like this. Like no, they. Luckily, at the end of it, PJ just like I think it was Tucker and like a few others. Also, I will say right. The Nets, just to end it off, the Nets, when I was going into this game, I knew the Nets were going to pull in deep threes and like get, Blake's a beast, right? So he's going to drive in and get those like rebounds, even though they miss. He's going to get those rebounds. He's going to get those 2-pointers in. It's going to be easy on them. There was a little bit of fouls here and there, but I think it was overall even. Like it wasn't too one-sided. So I was like, okay, fine. Like there's gonna be a lot of points on that, especially 3-pointers for the Nets. The one thing about the Bucks, I was like, I wasn't expecting too many 3-pointers. I was nervous because Giannis, I was like, depending on how he plays here, it could be really bad. But he got 40 points. He got 40 points. And if we really break it down on how he played, because it's not just stats, if we look at how he played, I think he played all right. I think in the first, he played very well. 40 points, very well. There's nothing to complain about that. But I'm just saying, like, and at first, I got nervous because he was taking those 3-pointers, and then he was taking more of them. I was like, Giannis, just pass or drive. Like, please, man, please, just don't do these 3-pointers. But in terms of the Bucks overall, I was like, if the Nets are like the beasts at making 3-pointers, then the Bucks are they're beasts at making 2-pointers. Like I was like, it's basically a 3-point 2-point game because and the Nets can make 2-pointers, but I'm just saying they're probably gonna lean towards 3-pointers based on like having Harden and especially KD. I was like, yeah. So seeing the Bucks, I was like, you have Chris Middleton, right? And PJ pulled in for some threes, but like you have Chris Middleton who is really underrated, maybe not so much, but I think we tend to forget how good this guy is in the 2 point like range, like making those 2 point like shots like at like 10 or 14 feet. Like he is really good at making those shots. He's really good at making those shots. So I didn't forget. I knew that. So going into it, I was like, either Giannis is going to get it off like the pick and roll, like either Giannis is going to get the ball, he's going to lay it up because no one can check him. No one can check him really. Once he gets moving, it's hard to stop him. So I was like, either he's going to get the dunks, the layups, or whatever he needs to get the 2 pointers right off the rim, like right at the rim, or you're going to pass it to Chris Middleton. He's going to make those 2 point shots, and everyone else, of course, too. PJ just he was that X factor. He pulled in, and I was like, thank God, because if you didn't, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the Bucks they would have choked at a few points. So, and there was other players too, of course. Like everyone else was doing amazing work. It was also kind of unfortunate because Harden was actually doing way better than I thought. Harden was doing way better than I thought, and I feel bad for Nets fans because you're looking at it and you're like you kind of had your players pulling in more than only as much as you would want, right? And you still didn't get the result out of it. So it sucks. But I mean, you guys like you've just started to this new era of your entire franchise. So I wouldn't worry too much if I was a Nets fan. If I was a Nets fan, I wouldn't worry too much. But as even though they're not my main guys, like they're not like the team I'm like, they're not the Raptors, right? Like I like the Bucks. I like the Bucks. They're my third favorite team. Let's put it that way. So I just really like Giannis. I don't mind Middleton and PJ. He's a new trade in, but he's growing on me. I like him. I like him at the Bucks. I think I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna work out. In my head, I have this like I said going to the Suns and the Bucks. Who's gonna win that? I don't know. You know what? I'll save that for after the video's over. But unless I forget. Ooh, no, I should probably say no because if I forget, that's gonna be awkward. I'll say it's going to be like a game six. I think it's going to be a 6 game series. I'm really nervous because I don't know. Because even though the Bucks are like they're really good as a cohesive team, like I think they do pretty well to cover each other. I just don't know how lethal CP3 and Booker are together. Like I know I can see it, but I really don't know. Like I really don't know. Like what CP3 does for the entire squad and what Booker does from basically everywhere. I'm nervous about that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know like is that gonna be something that they can all like handle? I'm not too sure. And who knows? Maybe it's not even gonna be the Suns. Maybe it'll be the Clippers. If it is the Clippers, then well, uh, I was wrong anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But so that's those games, right? And the Clippers game that was really really good. I talked about that with them versus Utah. Okay, I'm leaving the last one when it comes to the semifinal game. So that's Atlanta versus Philly. I know who lost, obviously. I'm gonna do this reacting to the highlights. So this is gonna be a discussion mostly, and it's gonna be a small reaction. The highlights are 10 minutes. I'm gonna make it short. I'm not gonna go through the entire thing, but I will have it here for you guys to kind of see. It'll be really blurred and like faint, so don't like try to look at it as like, oh, I get to see the highlights. Dude, watch it yourself. It's just gonna be there for context, right? I didn't watch this game mostly because I don't know, I was just like, I was gonna watch the Bucks Nets for sure because that game was super important. Plus, it was like one of those things where I'm like, the Bucks in itself are kind of a super team, but not really a super team. They're not a super team. The Nets are a super team. So in my head, I was like, competitively, I just want a really like I'm one of those guys that yeah, I have teams I support and like teams I like want to win over other teams, but overall I want competitiveness, right, when I'm watching this because that's what sports is, right? Like I don't care about like how much money everyone's making. I don't care about allegiances. I just want to be entertained, right? I want a big like competitive thing, right? So like if I see like oh, it's kind of a mismatch, right? I'm like, well, what's the point? You know what I mean? They're gonna get slaughtered. And it's like that's not entertaining. Like so I was kind of hoping in my head I was like this is before like all these series like ended, so they were all starting up, and I was like, choosing in my head like who I would want to win out of each of them. So this was like maybe like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I want the Bucks to pull out, like to get to the conference finals, and I want the Clippers, I want uh the Suns, and I want the 76ers. I was really close. I was really, really close. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the Clippers were the ones that weren't gonna make it. I didn't think the 76ers weren't gonna make it. I was pretty confident that it was gonna be like a 6 game or a 5 game series. Like when, because I think the Hawks won the first game, and I was like, it's cool, it's cool. They'll bring it back. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like I don't know what to say. This is it's weird. Like, I'm just like going okay before the highlights. Before I get into the highlights, I'm just gonna say this. My opinions on Ben Simmons. Okay, I I think the guy is fine. I think the guy is fine. I was one of those people that I looked at it as look at it like you shouldn't, because some people are like, oh, you should sub him out or you should try and do all this and this. I'm just gonna say what I was thinking. My head was like, okay, to anyone that's saying to Doc Rivers, because he was getting the question a lot during the series, hey, are you gonna sub him out? Are you gonna sub him out? Are you gonna sub him out? Me, I was like, you know what? Yeah, he deserves to get pissed at that because he was getting annoyed. He deserves to get pissed at that, and he deserves to, have people shut up about that, right? Because at the end of the day, I looked at it, I was like, I think it's Doc's responsibility as the coach to mandate that, right? To try and find some way of making it work. But at the same time, I also don't think that like that means, oh, if someone's not working out well, especially I understand the stakes are high, but if someone's not working out well, you just sub them out. Like there's a reason why Ben Simmons is on the court, right? What he brings in is more than the detriment that's coming in. Now, granted, this was before Game 5 was like Game 5 happened, but it was before we kind of realized the repercussion, or I realized. I think a lot of like smart basketball fans realized this, but I was kind of a little oblivious, just a tiny bit. And then like I noticed in Game 6 and then Game 7, and I was like, well, once I saw the result of Game 7, I haven't seen the full game, right? So I haven't seen the game at all. So I was like, damn, okay, you know what? That's yeah. When they started exploiting it as much as they could, that's when I kind of realized that okay, maybe it was a mistake. But at the time when I was thinking, I was like, okay, it's Doc's responsibility. I wouldn't suggest to Doc, okay, sub out Ben Simmons, because I'm like, when someone is as talented as Ben Simmons, you don't sub him out because that ruins the investment. That ruins the potential of the guy. It ruins his confidence, which ruins the potential and the investment that you've put into him, right? If Doc did that, he would really, really, really hurt the 76ers franchise by having a player, if they decided to keep him, because at the end of the day, right, they're probably going to trade him out. They'll probably trade him out because they're getting exploited, right? And you want to change up your system so you don't run into the same habit next time. If they don't sub him out, they need to switch up a lot of things. They have to be like a completely different team, which is probably more expensive than, taking out Ben Simmons right now, where his value it may have dropped maybe a little significantly, but it's still pretty high. So you can get some stuff that can work around that, right? At the time, I was like, okay, Doc just needs to find the right pieces without breaking Ben's confidence and keeping him in there for what he's used for. But Ben needs to find the right players or tell them, make the right game plans to try and compensate for that. I think I expected a little too much for something that was moving too fast from Doc. Now, I like Doc. I know a lot of people, with the stuff with the Clippers and the stuff now, it's hard, because it's like, um, I like him regardless. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but yeah, I like Dog. I don't mind him too much, but I think I just maybe expected too much when it came to the speed at which this was happening. Because I was like, once I realized like the pace of this series and how fast it was going to the Hawks, I was like, okay. I'm thinking to myself like, damn, they are really pressuring. Because yeah, on the one hand, I saw it from the 76ers perspective. I was like, okay, Doc needs to just find ways to either tell the other teammates or pick the right players to compensate and help work out some game plans. I didn't realize though, like on the other hand, on the flip side, you have the Hawks, which are basically, they're all organizing a way for them to just destroy and exploit the entire team, especially Ben Simmons, as fast and effectively as they can. So I was like, I thought of that once I saw this series, like, picking up more and more, and I'm like, yeah, I think they've. By the time I realized it, they already lost the series. So yeah, I don't mind having the Hawks there. I think I like the Hawks as a franchise. That's the thing, but the team format, like looking at the players that was on each team, I would have really loved to have seen like Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons play against, Giannis and Middleton and all of them. It just would have been cool, but at the same time, I think seeing how this, played out, it wouldn't have mattered. Like that one game, not one game, sorry, but those few games where the Hawks did what they did, that ruined the 76ers chances of winning this series, like the whole like league this year, like this season, it was over at that very moment. They they got exploited badly. They got exploited pretty badly. So I think that's enough stalling. I'm gonna jump into this real quick, and yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna look at it to see from this perspective, like just what was going on, right? Like I just want to see out of curiosity because I've seen all the games, right? All the endings of these series except for this one. So I just want to see for fun. I want to see how this played out and kind of how bad it was. I've seen Doc. Let me just put on my glasses real quick. But yeah, I've seen Doc like his reactions to some of this stuff, some of the games, or like the plays. Sorry, he didn't look really happy. I mean, no shit, but like you know what I mean. Like he looked like he kind of was like, bro, he looked stressed. I don't know how else to phrase it. He looked stressed. He looked so stressed. Um, I also saw that, like I've seen the clips of like Ben Simmons. I think the worst clip I've seen of Ben Simmons from this series easily was when he passed when he was right underneath the net and could have just dunked. Like I don't know what was going on. Like poor guy, I don't know what was going on in his head. Like when he did that move, like because I'm thinking to myself, you don't need to shoot. You don't need to shoot there. You just need to dunk. I was like, you good, dude? Like I don't know. I think the pressure is like really gone into him, and I've seen a lot of like analysts and stuff. Which nowadays basketball analysts, you kind of just like it's kind of hard, to pick piece like what's just for clicks and like tension and like bring up like a lot of aggression and like response and what's like actual analyzing. You know what I mean? But there is actual analyzing there, so I tried to pick and piece from different perspectives and really, yeah, it's just the confidence. His confidence is shot. Like he needs to work on it. So there's no way you're gonna do that from staying in this franchise. I also feel bad for Embiid because I feel like Embiid pulls in a lot and he gets better and better. I say that as he just his pass like he passed to like three Atlanta players. To be fair, that's not. Well, I guess it's kind of on him, yeah. Because like the guy he was trying to pass to, like he bro, what? Wait, they have ads in the like they have ad countdowns in the middle of the. Okay, whatever. Um, but like yeah, the guy he was trying to pass to like basically ran off. I mean, overall, they kind of kept it close. We're on the second quarter, so I mean now they're starting to pull out. I saw the stats. Apparently, Atlanta took the lead. Well, I mean, see, Ben's dunking there at least, but yeah, Atlanta took the lead like what, like 10 times or something. I'm just throwing out numbers. Don't take it too seriously. My memory is pretty like because there's so many games to keep track of. It'll get easier as time goes up. Right now it's 36-36, so I mean, seems like they kept it close. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's crazy to think how if Ben just had a like I don't know if his confidence was what it was before and like he actually took some of these shots and like I don't know and just had some form of consistency, this wouldn't have even been an issue. Like the whole thing would have just and it's weird because usually when you say that you're like, oh man, like it's just exaggerating, like it's exaggeration. You're not trying to like that's not really true, you know what I mean? That's just like kind of the outsider's perspective of like, well, you're not really getting like the whole system. But if I'm being honest, it's like these guys are pulling in. Like it's still a game seven. Like Philly has put up a fight. They put a massive fight, and like all the other players are putting in a lot of work. Granted, they're not perfect, but I mean, yeah, it's just it'd be a whole different story if Ben like I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to keep track of like mostly the Philly players because I've seen like Atlanta's formations. They're just kind of doing what they need to. But yeah, I'm really curious about how the other players because I haven't kept track of like what their opinions are, what their thoughts are. But I'm really curious about the other like 76ers players, like not Embiid, specifically because he's the star man, but I'm like just all of them in general, like what they think for the Ben Simmons thing. And like it's their job. They're not really supposed to say anything negative. And I don't think they genuinely really, really think anything like hugely negative. I think they'd probably just be like, nah, Ben's doing his thing, like it's good for us to just like oh he dunked there. It's good for us to just, he'll get in his stride and stuff and like shouldn't pressure him too much and he'll figure it out. Stuff. Like it's good in that environment to keep yourself like supporting each other because that's the thing. That's the reason why I brought up with Doc. Like it's like to expect Doc to pull out him like Ben Simmons to pull him out and just like that that doesn't like teach anything. That doesn't teach anything in that moment. You know what I mean? That doesn't help him get better at shooting. Um, it's just one of those things where it's like it's kind of like not old fashioned because sometimes you really do need to do that even nowadays, but if you're looking at it like I was trying to find different examples like if it's like teaching, if it's like I don't know, like parenting or something. I'm like in whatever moment when like you have a person that is doing like they're talented, they're really good at other things, but they're just not great at this one thing. And it's an important thing, don't get me wrong, but they're not good at this one thing. You don't just say like forget all the other stuff. Forget all the other stuff. Forget anything. I'm gonna pull you out. You're done. You know what I mean? It's like what? How's that gonna fix anything? Okay. I mean, it's the fourth quarter now, and they're still close. Like this was a weird. This is a weird game. Like it's just weird to me because I'm thinking to myself like. I've said this about 3 times already. Like it's been 3 points in this game where they've been tied up. So it's actually a really, really close game. It kind of damn, that was a hard fall. It kind of feels like the Nets and Bucks game, but it's just I don't know. It's different because like it almost feels like watching this like coming into this like you're like maybe Atlanta like already won this, but like they didn't though. That's the thing. It sucks because when you watch it more and more like this is this bro. What is this like the fourth time they teed up? Like they're both tied again. It's 84-84. I mean, now it's 82, 86-84. But like, bro, they've been tied like 4 times at completely different points. I'm not counting this because obviously it's 2 point, 2 point. They just exchanged. But like, I'm just saying, like it happened like it was like 24-24, 41-41 or something like that. 86-86. You know what I mean? I'm just like, damn. I just don't feel like they've like neither team like pulled away too far away from the other one. But damn. Also, I'll say this: when it comes to Atlanta Hawks, right? Trey Young didn't like he. I like Trey. I like Trey a lot. I feel like I was watching back through like this entire playoffs. I've been watching a lot of like Trey Young, Luka Doncic, like clips and stuff, and like keeping track of them, and just like seeing like like you watch. You ever get into that like thing where like one person has real good like a really good game? I think it happened with Luka because of like the whole Clippers series. And I just kept watching like Luca stuff, and then like obviously Luca Trey, they have like a close kind of journey through the NBA. So I mean, they started off both getting traded with each other. So, but yeah, I just remembered like it was cool because I rewatched this clip. It was the World versus America game, and I remember that game so well. Like I remember the like just watching Trey and Luca, and I was like, you know what, these two are gonna pull in really, really well. So it's cool to see how like maybe not Trey. Trey hasn't pulled in as much of an impression as Luca this playoff season. Like Luca has done something crazy, but um like Trey's done pretty well for like chemistry wise, like bringing his team to. He's given Atlanta a little bit of something, so that's good. Yeah, it's 16 seconds left, fourth quarter, 103-96. Yeah, Philly's not gonna. Yeah, Philly didn't even break 100. Not saying they did bad. They didn't do horribly, but yeah, yeah, that's it. I don't know. I just wanted to see like for myself. I wanted to see for myself like how the game played out, and I wanted to kind of like bring my own like impressions of it, and maybe if that changed any perspectives when talking about this series. But yeah, it's just really close. It was just a really close series, like really close. So but that shows you like how good Philly's chances were. Like Philly's chances were really really good. They've done some great jobs. It's really tough when you have that glaring of a weakness. It's just one of those things where like it's not like you have to blame Ben all that much. It's not bad to be bad at something, one aspect of a sport. You don't have to be all around a really really good player, but for you to never shoot, you know what I mean? Like it was ridiculous. I'm like that right there was glaring. You want to look at the definition of a glaring weakness? That right there was a glaring weakness. Like the dude just he refused. He refused to shoot. Like and when he does, he's just doing horribly. So I mean, that's that just sucks. It's just it was so obvious, clear as day that they were just like, you know what, we're just gonna take advantage of this. And at that point, Philly just kind of lost it. So overall, though, that's my opinions on these games. I mean, I think it's going to be the Suns and the Bucks. I'm hoping because I love Giannis and the Suns. I have family friends in Phoenix, so I like Phoenix a lot. I've never been. I'll probably visit definitely for sure soon enough, because they visited us, so I have to go visit them. But at some point, but yeah, Phoenix is a really cool place. So that's one thing, but also just the way they were playing is really, really fun to watch. So yeah, I mean, Clippers, they're gonna put up a good fight, dude. I think that series is gonna be. I don't know. I don't know actually. Like this Bucks versus Hawks series, this will probably go to probably a 5 game series. I think 5 games. I don't think the Hawks are gonna get swept. Nah, I don't think so. I think it might be 4-1. Yeah, 4-1 makes sense to me. Um, but I could be dead wrong. Um, but the Clippers versus the Suns, I just don't know. I don't know because I don't know how like scary good the Suns are right now. Like I would need to see for myself how like clutch the Suns come in because the Nuggets, I'm not gonna lie to you, were I was kind of unsure of them going into the series anyways. So I wasn't too surprised about the sweep. I was just kind of like, nah. Especially with the Suns, thing about the Suns is their momentum is insane. So even though the Clippers have done really well, like they've come off a game seven, they've come off a 7 game series, and they've really had to push, right? And Kawhi is just coming back. He's just like getting back in the groove and all that stuff. He's still been gone for a little bit. And then you're facing this team which has been on break for a long time, and they are boosted with adrenaline because CP3 is giving them a whole new like identity. They feel like a whole new different team, a new different franchise. And Booker is Devin Booker. He's trying to be, that cold-hearted killer. And yeah, those two like, oh my neck is killing me. Those two combined, like, yeah, they're. I feel like with that momentum of like just sweeping a team and having that much time, it's going to be really tough, I think, initially for the Clippers. If the Clippers can like cushion like the first 2 or 3 games and like come out with a win in one of those, honestly, I think you can go to a game seven. But if they don't, I think it'll be like a 4 game, 5 game series. But if they get one win out of the first 3 games, I think you could see a game seven. I don't know though if it's like the third game they win. Basically, if they win the second or first game, then we're talking something different, right? Then it's different. But so far, I'm not too sure. But I just wanted to vent all my thoughts about these games because so far, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, last playoffs was dry. Last playoffs was so dry, and like this is a fun change of pace. I was gonna do a different basketball reaction. I was gonna do a reaction to ESPN has this like best and worst shooters. And I know I've seen I know, everyone has seen those videos or something. And like, I haven't because I always see them in my feed, but I just don't click on them because I'm like, I don't care. But I've watched the one for last season, like the 2021. I've seen that one. That's how I kept track of Chris Middleton's like 2 point shots. He's really good. So I was like, you know what? Going into that game, I was like, yeah, I'm expecting a lot of 2 pointers, which I was right. Um, But yeah, I'm pretty sure either that or final. The final is gonna be like I'll react to. I don't know. It's hard because in basketball, with the way playoffs work, it's hard to pinpoint when you would watch a game. I might watch the first game, and I might watch if it goes to a game seven, but I'm not too sure. I don't know. I also kind of regretted not watching that game, like reacting to that game seven for the Bucks versus the Nets, but hey, I mean, at least I'm doing this, so I feel like this would be better too in terms of like all this stuff, like putting all this content in one. But yeah, if you guys enjoy basketball content, or if you're just tired of seeing sports stuff on this channel, you can dislike it. But if you like sports stuff and you want to see me do more basketball specific stuff, mostly NBA, then click the like button. And then also press subscribe, and then click that bell so you can see all the videos right when they appear, right? You'll get them right in your feed, and you'll be like, oh, snap, it's that guy. He's pretty cool. I like him. Click. I know you like me. I know you. No, I'm kidding. If you don't, then you can click on it anyways, and then click dislike. That's like, yeah, if you dislike this video, subscribe anyways, so you can dislike all my other videos. Because how are you going to know when my videos come out, right? You want to dislike it. If you want to be a hater, please subscribe, click the bell, and then hate on all my videos. Either way, you have to click on my video. To dislike it or like it, you have to click on my video. So if you want to hate me for doing this stuff, then you know what to do. Subscribe so you never miss a chance to hate on my stuff. But yeah, no, for real, if you want to have like any topic of discussion, anything like, oh, like what's your thoughts on this, or like, nah, you're dumb. Like the Clippers have got this. They're gonna sweep the Suns or anything. If you want to comment that, go ahead. Like I'm down for discussion. There's gonna be no hate, trust me. Um, it's all banter. Like I'm that type of guy. Like even if it's pure hate coming through, I'll be like, that's cool. Like I'll be sarcastic about it. I'll be fun about it. Like it's cool. Anything that brings life to the comment section, I'll be able to do my best to mediate and be like, all right, cool, this will be fun. Just don't curse at each other. Like let me be the outlet. All right. Let's keep it civil. Not civil against me. Like, I'll just be there for fun, right? If I didn't want to get hate, I wouldn't post videos. So don't worry about it. I'm completely fine. But yeah, regardless, just comment about anything. You know, enjoy yourself down there. That sounded weird. Pause. Wait, what? Uh, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I hope you guys have enjoyed this basketball stuff. This has been my opinions on all of the like semifinals for the playoff series in the conference semifinals, all that stuff. I hope you guys uh will stay tuned for the next episode and show up there. But if not, then I'll see you guys later. Take care. Peace.